In 1979, in any town, USA, you spot an 80-year-old woman limping along. Opening doors is a struggle. The escalator feels like an obstacle course. Every movement is an effort. But what you don't know is, she's not old at all. Her name is Patricia Moore, and she's only 26 years old. She's wearing special makeup to make her look old and wrinkled. Her glasses are designed to blur her vision. Her shoes are uneven, forcing her to work with a cane. She walked through 100 cities like this. But why? Why would anyone do that? Miss Moore was an industrial designer. She worked for a company that created appliances and gadgets. At company meetings, she would often ask, how would an older person be open to open this fridge door? Would an older person be able to use these scissors? Her boss's response was, we don't design for those people. We don't care about the old people. She was horrified. Determined to understand the challenges, Miss Moore set out to experience aging firsthand. And what better way to do that than by becoming old herself? She needed to live as an older person to truly understand their needs, so she could design products that would make their daily lives easier. This was a new idea at the time. They called it experimental empathy. By living the struggles of others, she gained a deeper level of understanding, one that no research or observation alone could provide. But we don't need Patricia Moore to teach us about noise ba'olim chavayroi. We know this, we live this, we do this. We are all here tonight because our empathy runs deep within us, woven into our very essence. We feel the pain of each other's. We want to help. We want every Yid to know true happiness. We want every Yid to build a family. That is why you are all here tonight. Learning, raising, and davening. It is because we feel so passionate for one another. We're here because we really care. Empathy does not only give chizuk and comfort to another. In my experience, when you truly put yourself out there, the Eibishter sends you special siyata d'shmaya, guiding you to help people you never even intended to reach in ways you never even expected. 23 years ago, we were flying to Eretz Yisroel to establish ATIME over there. Before my departure, I received the usual request to take along a package for someone. But this time, it was different. The sender, who didn't even know who we were, explained that the package was a gift for a couple who had waited 21 long, agonizing years for a child. And now at last, they had had a baby boy. Unbelievable. When the beaming new father came to pick up his gift, he warmly invited me to the Shulam Zucha. I took down the name of the shul, eager to share in this incredible simcha. I didn't know the couple, but I felt an undeniable connection. A simcha like this, a baby born after 21 long years, doesn't happen every day. Even though I was exhausted from the flight, I knew I belonged there. How could I miss it? Friday night after the Seder, I left my apartment and headed towards the shul location. I arrived at the neighborhood he had mentioned, but there was no shul. I crossed the street, spotted a shul with a Shulam Zucha taking place, but the young man I was looking for wasn't there. Go around the corner, nothing. I began asking around. Nobody heard of this couple. Nobody knows where the Zucha is taking place. I was lost. What should I do? Looking up, I noticed two men walking towards me. I approached them and asked if they knew where the shul was. From the way I spoke, they must have realized I wasn't from Eretz Yisrael. The older one asked me, "What's your connection to the simcha?" I smiled and said, "To be honest, I don't even know the Baal Simcha. But I'm very involved in this field, and when I heard that a couple had a baby after 21 long years, I knew I had to be there. Such a big simcha, I couldn't miss it." They weren't able to help me, but the older man paused for a moment before saying, "But maybe you can help us instead." He gestured towards the younger man standing beside him. "This is my son. He's been married for over 5 years, but sadly, he and his wife have not yet been zoichet to children." The concerned father strolls off, giving us some privacy. The younger man and I begin talking, our conversation stretching for nearly 2 hours as we delve into his situation and explore the options available to him. Over the next 3 years, through every doctor's appointment and every complication, they stayed in touch with me, sharing every step of their journey. Baruch Hashem, I was fortunate to be a good shliach, and today he has a beautiful family of his own. Who would have thought? Oh, and by the way, I never ended up finding the Zucha. But the truth is, tonight is not about experimental empathy, because no experiment can truly mimic the pain our couples endure every single day. Think of just one hakufa without holding your child's hand. That moment of emptiness, a mere glimpse of their reality, and yet, even that was only the slightest taste of their pain. Tonight proves that you have found a way to truly connect to another Yid, to make their pain your own and transform it into something greater. And when you truly feel for someone else, Hashem sees it and He places you at the right place, at the right time, in the right place. A number of years ago, I received a call from a black number. The man on the other end sounded deeply distressed. He wasn't comfortable sharing his name, but his desperation was clear. After many long and painful years of marriage, he and his wife were still waiting to have a child. They had come to the harsh realization that IVF was their only option. However, his wife was adamantly opposed. She longed to have a child naturally and refused to even consider any type of treatment. Through his sobs, the man explained that his wife felt so strongly about this that she would rather get divorced than go through with IVF. Desperate, the man begged me to speak to his wife, to convince her to give IVF a chance. Of course, I immediately got onto the phone with her. I patiently explained everything about IVF, how thousands of couples today, how children have children through this process, and how it has become increasingly accepted. I told her about ATIME's hashkucha, the top doctors in the field. And Baruch Hashem, after many phone calls and many hours of conversations, she listened with an open heart, slowly softening to the idea. Eventually, she agreed to give it a try. I recommended a top-notch doctor at ATIME New York, and that was it. About 2 months later, I received another anonymous call. Sure enough, it was the same young man. His voice trembled, and soon he was crying bitterly. I gently asked him to take a moment to calm down so I could understand what he was trying to say. Through his sobs, he explained they had followed my advice. They went for a consultation and everything had gone smoothly. They prepared for a cycle, hopeful for a new beginning. But when his sample was analyzed, the doctor found nothing. He was devastated. The doctor told him that IVF alone would never work for them. The only option was a TESI procedure, a far more complex and invasive process. But his wife refused. She had reached her breaking point. She had endured enough. She wanted out. She wanted a divorce. TESI was non-negotiable. His voice cracked as he said, "My life is basically over." I was completely at a loss. I didn't know what to say. I still remember exactly where I was standing at that moment in our old office, grappling for the right words, but coming up empty. Suddenly, Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter was choin and das. I asked him, by any chance, were you on antibiotics in the last 2.5 to 3 months? He paused and replied, yes, about 10 weeks ago. I explained that antibiotics can temporarily affect, sometimes up to 3 months. Maybe I suggested, wait a week or two and try again. A while later, I had forgotten about this incident until I received another call. Yes, you guessed it. Another blocked number, still not stating his name. The man was crying. Through his tears, he managed to say just a few words. Mazel tov, 2 beautiful twin boys. He did not invite me to the bris. To this day, I still don't know who this couple is. Maybe you even here tonight. Who knows? But that's not what matters. What matters is that Baruch Hashem, we were zoiche to help another couple build a beautiful Yiddish family. And that's what you are all part of. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the learning. And it's not just about showing up here today. It's about your dedication. It's about your empathy. It's about lives you change. It's about you caring, showing every couple Imay unoichi betsuru, that they are not alone. That there is no stone any of you wouldn't turn over to help a child, to help a couple have a child of their own. I believe be'emine shalayma that our avodah here today, through our Torah, our tefillah, and our chesed, will be surely be poil, Yeshiyos b'mhayru amen.